Welcome back. It's been a controversial issue for more than a year now. What will happen with the parcels of land that are near the Celery Fields Park in East Sarasota?
The same group who fought against the debris recycling center that was going to be built there is now asking for suggestions from the community to see what they want instead. ABC 7's Taylor Torregano is live on Palmer Boulevard and Apex Road with more details. Taylor?
Good evening, Scott, Jacqueline. I'm standing on one of 3 parcels of land that could be a home, a park, or even a grocery store in the future. A group of community members have joined together to brainstorm in order to have a say on what that future will be.
We call this the Siesta Beach of East County.
But instead of the ocean, it's 23 acres of open land just east of I-75. County-owned land that was in the works to be occupied by a debris recycling center until a group of community members got involved.
We had 85 people speak against it, and we had hundreds of people in the gallery at the commissioners meeting, a meeting that went from 9 in the morning till 7 at night. And we beat it.
So no industrial waste facility, but what will go here instead? The group called Fresh Start says it got approval from the county to gather recommendations from the community. This is the view from the top of Celery Fields Park, and you can see there's a lot of open land in this area. The 3 parcels in question are the ones closest to the interstate, but Fresh Start says they're ready for the new developments. They just want to make sure the public's input is included in this decision.
Let's take a break and bring the public and the county into some kind of harmony.
So Fresh Start put out a request to anyone with an idea for the land and got nearly 40 proposals back.
We've been surprised by the range of them. I'd say they start from the range of let's just create a buffer that will protect the area, keep it natural. Put in a park, put in a public garden, to some who suggest, well, how about a market?
Other ideas include affordable housing and even a sports complex. But whatever it is, this group says they're just here to be the middleman between the county and the public.
We were put in a position to rectify what was going to happen before, so we take it very seriously.
You're up. Now, tomorrow, Fresh Start will be meeting with an advisory board of planning professionals and architects in order to look over these proposals and determine which ones will be most feasible. And today, the county tells me they're looking forward to seeing and hearing these proposals. I'm live in East Sarasota County. Taylor Torregano, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
Taylor, thank you. Sarasota County Commissioners hearing the results of a final study on how the county handled Hurricane Irma. Former FEMA Director Craig Fugate presented the findings to the commission during a meeting this afternoon. According to Fugate, the county did a good job overall. He told commissioners the biggest success was the storm team that the county built prior to Irma. That team worked well in covering all aspects of the county's needs during the storm. As for what the county could improve on, Fugate suggested shelters be identified sooner, communicate more through all forms of media, and finally focus on the county services that are needed up until the storm hits and right after.
Well, chillier this morning if you were heading out to school or taking your dog for a walk, but the temperatures warmed up and it was pretty nice. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan for what we can expect for the rest of the evening. Bob?
Yeah, a little bit chilly out there earlier today. Kind of warmed up nice this afternoon. By the way, Irma, the story has just come out from the National Hurricane Center on that. The preliminary report was out months ago, but the latest report from the National Hurricane Center still indicates that it was the second strongest Atlantic hurricane in modern times since 1966 ever recorded as far as accumulated cyclone energy is concerned, or ACE. So again, a very significant storm that we saw last year with Irma. Now, as far as the Van Wezel webcam goes, you can see the winds and seas out there a little stronger. So we had the seas running 2 to 4 feet, big breezes out of the west-northwest. Those winds will come down a little bit tomorrow afternoon, so a little calmer conditions there. But temperatures tonight will be well below average. We're expecting low temperatures in the low to mid 40s for most areas. There could be a couple of upper 30s well inland. Northwest winds at 15 right now. Those winds I mentioned will be anywhere from 10 miles an hour to 15 throughout the evening. So a bit of a chill tonight if you're heading outdoors and as that sun sets just after 7:30. 63 in Jacksonville, 68 in Orlando, the same in Key West, and 72 now in Miami. 64 degrees here at Sarasota. Overnight lows will be into the upper 30s in places, into the mid 40s 2 upper 40s right on the beaches, 45 in Braden, Longboat Key at 48, the same at Anna Maria. More in your forecast coming up in just a few. Back to you.
All right, thanks, Bob. Senator Marco Rubio is expected to file legislation that would allow Florida and the entire country to keep daylight saving time all year long. Rubio is introducing both the Sunshine Protection Act and the Sunshine State Act. The first bill would make daylight saving time permanent across the country, and the second would let Florida remain in daylight saving time on its own. Florida lawmakers have already agreed that they want the state to adopt daylight saving time year-round, but the change could only take effect if Congress changes federal law.
Governor Rick Scott signed a controversial education bill this week. The measure will provide state-funded scholarships to send bullied students to private schools. One of the most contentious provisions is the bill would require teachers' unions to seek recertification if their membership falls below 50% of the group they represent in contract negotiations. Republican lawmaker Scott Plakin pushed that union portion of the legislation.
There's a number of unions in the state that have very low percentage of the bargaining units that actually pay dues, and I would interpret that as they're not being responsive to their members.
Earlier this week, the governor also signed a bill to permanently expand Bright Futures merit scholarships to state universities and allow Florida universities to provide scholarships to out-of-state national merit scholars.
Turning now to the celebration of Stephen Hawking's life, the 76-year-old physicist whose incredible discoveries changed the way we think about the universe passed away overnight. His story of resilience, passion, and overcoming the odds inspiring so many. ABC's Molly Hunter has more.
It has been a glorious time to be alive.
He pushed the boundaries of science and his own life, far outliving doctors' predictions that he would die years ago.
I was told it would kill me in 2 or 3 years.
He battled and thrived with ALS, also known as Lou Gehrig's disease, for 5 decades. He married twice and had 3 children. ABC's Diane Sawyer spoke with him back in 2010.
What is the best fatherly advice that you give them?
1. Remember to look up at the stars and not down at your feet.
And his research on black holes and relativity made him a star, one of the brightest of his generation.
Physics may explain the mysteries of the universe.
His best-selling book made him a celebrity, and his humor made him a cult figure of sorts.
Does that mean that there is a universe out there where I am smarter than you?
Yes, and also a universe where you're funny.
In short, he made science cool. He even featured in The Simpsons and played himself in The Big Bang Theory.
It's an honor and a privilege to meet you, sir.
I know.
What if I reverse time?
And Eddie Redmayne, who won an Oscar for starring as Hawking in the film The Theory of Everything, said, "We have lost a truly beautiful mind, the funniest man I have ever had the pleasure to meet." And for a man who accomplished so much, there was still so much more he had wanted to do.
I could have gone on and on. Space, here I come.
Molly Hunter, ABC News, London.
What an incredible life.
Yeah, and his what he's added to our life will go on for years and years.
Very much so.
Yep. Still to come in your Suncoast News tonight.
Why Americans have some of the most expensive health care in the world. We'll have details when we return.
It's California Closet's Lighting and Accessories Sales Event. Save up to $1,000 now through April 30th. Call 1-800-CAL-CLOSETS for your free design consultation or visit us online at californiaclosets.com.
Alex Karras Lincoln's 40th anniversary sale. Please join us in welcoming the 2 newest additions to the Lincoln lineup, our flagship luxury sedan, the 2018 Lincoln Continental, and the totally redesigned 2018 Lincoln Navigator, featuring 450 horsepower, 10-speed transmission, and many best-in-class features. Alex Karras Lincoln, where our mission statement is consistent commitment, every client, every time. Located 2 miles north of the Sarasota-Bradenton Airport on US 41.
I heard about the Dattoli Cancer Center through friends of mine who had been treated here and were very pleased with the treatment.
If there is prostate cancer, we at the Dattoli Cancer Center will find it using 3D color flow Doppler ultrasound.
And that helped precisely identify where my cancer was. I can tell you that you will not find a finer, more professional team of clinicians anywhere in the world.
This is an important announcement. If you're between 50 and 85 and worried about your loved ones, you can still get affordable life insurance for peace of mind.
My life insurance coverage is guaranteed, and I was not required to get a medical exam.
I had high blood pressure and diabetes, and I got my coverage with one telephone call. No exam necessary.
I'm a smoker, and I wanted to take care of my family. I called to get my life insurance and my affairs in order. I wanted to do the right thing.
Call Final Expense No Exam Insurance. Your rates are guaranteed and will never increase.
I called and learned that this insurance cannot be canceled even if you get sick or gain weight.
And there are no restrictions on how my beneficiaries use the money when I'm gone.
Approval was easy and the price was right. I wanted to do this for my children.
Call 800-738-9812. 800-738-9812.
Car experts and customers agree there's a lot to love about a new Subaru. Subaru is Kelley Blue Book's 2017 most trusted brand, best overall brand, and lowest 5-year cost to own. And Subaru Impreza is an IIHS top safety pick for 11 years running. Lease the all-new 2018 Subaru Impreza for just $195 a month for 42 months with zero due at signing. That's right, not one penny. Get more for your money during the Subaru A Lot to Love event at Sunset Subaru in Sarasota.
It's California Closet's Lighting and Accessories Sales Event. Save up to $1,000 now through April 30th. Call 1-800-CAL-CLOSETS for your free design consultation or visit us online at californiaclosets.com.
Americans have some of the most expensive health care in the world, but why? With more, here's ABC's Tara Palmieri.
As a nation, we seem to be helpless against high medical costs. A new study published in the Journal of the American Medical Association points out a few of the key reasons. It's not that we use our doctors and our hospitals more frequently, the study says. We're about the same as Sweden or Japan, but we love to test. We perform more CT scans than anywhere else in the world. Doctor salaries are about twice as high here as the UK or Germany, and the cost of brand name drugs also bump up the price tag. Here's a telling figure. 84% of our prescriptions are for less expensive generic drugs, but they account for only 30% of the total dollars spent on pharmaceuticals. Our prescription drugs cost often twice as much as those sold in Europe. Crestor, for example, lowers cholesterol for $186 in America. In Germany, it's just $41. It's a telling report on the health of our healthcare wallets. With this Medical Minute, I'm Tara Palmieri, ABC News.
Now your ABC 7 first weather forecast with Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan.
Well, it looks nice, doesn't it? It is. I mean, lots of sunshine anyway. KCK webcam review this afternoon, but the waves are fairly high as a result of that west and northwest wind today, bringing in cool temperatures. Highs today, again, 10 degrees below average. And get ready. Tonight's low readings will be in the 30s, upper 30s in some places east of the interstate tonight for Suncoast residents. Now, the snow continues to linger. Boy, lots of snow piling up in Maine and Vermont, New Hampshire, all the way into upstate New York near Watertown and Burlington getting some snow as well. Good news for skiers. They're going to have plenty of snow around there. And you can see some of that snow trying to work its way all the way over toward Boston again. Current conditions here, though, quite a contrast. It's cool, we know that, but not nearly as cold as I've seen over the Northeast lately, and snowy. 64 degrees right now, the dew point 34. That's really low. Humidity dry, 33%. Winds out of the northwest at 15. That puts us in a kind of a high fire danger right now here along the Suncoast. 66 degrees, the high 10 degrees below the average of 76. And this morning's low was cold too, 43. Temperatures right now, low 60s from Holmes Beach southward to Longboat Key, 63 at Rosedale, Waterleaf at 64, Palm Air. Pretty much the same story, just a little bit cooler right near the coast, a little bit warmer as you go further inland. Northport, you're at 67 degrees right now, Plantation at 66, but Northport tomorrow you'll start off right around 40 degrees for the low temperature. Well, the Futurecast is continuing to show high pressure building in for us, and that means lots of clear skies with some high cirrus clouds now and again, but this high pressure ridge being to the west of us means we'll get this north wind, and that north wind will allow temperatures to drop tonight down into the low 40s for the most part, and even tomorrow that high pressure ridge will slowly move off to the east, pretty much right over the top of us. Eventually it parks itself to the east of the state, which brings us that east to southeasterly wind by St. Patrick's Day, and that means warm temperatures are anticipated both on Saturday and Sunday. We'll be back to average or even above average on both Saturday and Sunday. But then here comes the snowstorm and ice storm across the central U.S. Here's a frontal boundary. We'll have to keep an eye on it. What we may see from this front looks like on into the weekend is some high clouds, residual clouds left over from the front. The front is not expected to break on through our area at all. Now, lows tonight, I mentioned in the 40s, low to mid 40s for the most part. And then we'll see highs tomorrow into the mid 60s. Once again, temperatures will be back into the 40s to start things off on Friday morning. So Friday will be the coldest again, and not the coldest, but another cold morning. And then we'll start to warm up on Saturday morning. Highs on Friday will be back in the 70s finally by Friday. Well, the Futurecast is, as I said, showing high pressure dominating our weather with fair skies overnight all the way through the weekend. Temperatures currently Buffalo at 29, some snow nearby, Ottawa at 34, 42 in Indianapolis. Things warm up in Rapid City, 66 there, and in Omaha at 68 degrees, 69 in Dallas, and 73 into Houston. For boaters tomorrow, a bit breezy to start things off. Northeast winds at 15 knots. They'll switch to the northwest at 5 to 10 in the afternoon. Seas running 2 to 3 feet with a moderate chop out there. Here's the 7-day forecast. Looks cold, or at least cool, to start things off. And then Saturday, much better, 77 for your high, 81 on Monday. That front comes down on the first day of spring here, 78 degrees, spring officially beginning just after noon for the vernal equinox, meaning equal portions of light for everywhere on the earth there as a result of the sun's direct rays being right over the equator. It will be warm on the first day of spring, 78. Back to you.
Interesting. Thanks, Bob. Time now to check your first alert traffic for the drive home. Traffic is moving slow in the northbound lanes of I-75 in Sarasota between University and Fruitville Parkway, or University Parkway and Fruitville exits. So keep that in mind.
In consumer news, Elite Airways announcing it will end its service from SRQ to White Plains, New York. That's just outside New York City. The twice-weekly nonstop route started last November, running on Fridays and Mondays. No word on the reason for that route cancellation. Elite Airways says the final day of service will be April 30th.
Ford is recalling 1.4 million vehicles due to a manufacturing problem. The company says a bolt could come loose on the steering wheel and in some cases cause it to come off while driving. The affected models are Ford Fusions and Lincoln MKZs from 2014 to 2018. Ford says 2 accidents due to the malfunction have been reported.
Another important recall alert, Amazon recalling 6 versions of its portable power banks due to fire and chemical burn hazards. The power bank's battery can overheat and then ignite. The brand is Amazon Basics, and they look like this. The power banks were sold from December of 2014 through July of last year. If you have one of these, contact Amazon for a full refund.
Well, stay with us. Entertainment news is coming up next.
Motor Trend said the new Alfa Romeo Giulia is hands down the best sports sedan you can buy today, and named it the 2018 Motor Trend Car of the Year. Rediscover your passion for driving at Sunset Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.
My name is Stefan Campagna. We're Ben Gates and Dramus, and here is your law tip of the week. If you've been injured in an accident, whether or not it's your fault, your insurance company might be responsible for some of your expenses. So give us a call. We've got your back.
Rugs as Art. You know the name, you know the building, but do you know what's inside? Yes, Rugs as Art is Florida's #1 area rug superstore. But there is so much more. Amazing furniture, accessories, and art. All this and more. Come see for yourself. You'll love our personal touch and be pleasantly surprised by our affordable prices. Rugs as Art and more. There is so much more to explore.
Florida Studio Theater presents Blue Suede Shoes, celebrating the birth of rock and roll. From the father of rock and roll, Chuck Berry, to the king himself, Elvis Presley, this musical review features such great hits as Rock Around the Clock, Mustang Sally, Johnny B. Good, and of course, Blue Suede Shoes. Critics are calling Blue Suede Shoes a burst of rock history, dynamic and high voltage. Audiences are calling it phenomenal. Blue Suede Shoes has been held over by popular demand. Tickets can be purchased by calling 941-366-9000 or by visiting floridastudiotheater.org.
It's time to take a road trip.
Alabama's got 100 road trips. And if you love the sun, you're gonna love Mobile, where Mardi Gras is king, and the accommodations will make you feel like royalty. You can take a little drive, explore Dauphin Island, or explore the past. We're talking the USS Alabama. Check out these big guns. Alabama's got 100 road trips. Plan yours at alabama.travel.
Which one you gonna take?
Our nation's servicemen and women show great courage and leadership, both on and off the battlefield. When they transition to civilian life, they can apply the skills and values they learned in the military to the workplace. That's why the Coalition to Salute America's Heroes is urging employers everywhere to be smart, bet on a vet. Hiring a veteran is also a great way to show your appreciation for them. To learn more, call 1-888-44-SALUTE.
When evaluating the Alfa Romeo Stelvio, Car and Driver magazine said every crossover should be this good to drive. We agree. Rediscover your passion for driving at Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.
In entertainment news, a Hollywood couple calls it quits and a Melrose Place actress charged with battery.
For the latest on what's happening in Hollywood, here's ABC's Danya Backus.
It's a paradise.
No more pillow talk for artist Zayn and his longtime girlfriend Gigi Hadid. The couple announced their split on Twitter. Each had positive things to say about the other. The news was first reported by the British tabloid The Sun, which claimed the two drifted apart due to pressures of their careers.
We heard a cry out in the universe.
Ava DuVernay has a lot to celebrate. After taking in more than $33 million opening weekend, her movie A Wrinkle in Time is currently second at the box office behind Black Panther.
Whether it be the first woman of color to make a film like this, whether it be the fact that the #1 and #2 films in America right now are directed by black directors for the first time in history, this is a time where we can feel things might be changing.
Melrose Place actress Heather Locklear has been charged with several counts of battery against first responders who answered a domestic violence call at her Southern California home. Officials say Locklear kicked, pushed, and shouted at sheriff's deputies responding to a call she had been violent with her boyfriend. No domestic violence charges have been filed. Former rapper Craig Mack, best known for the platinum 1994 hit Flavor in Your Ear, has died in South Carolina. That's what's happening in Hollywood. I'm Danya Backus, ABC News, Los Angeles.
All right, stay with us. We have more news and your forecast for the upcoming weekend right after this.
It's California Closet's Lighting and Accessories Sales Event. Save up to $1,000 now through April 30th. Call 1-800-CAL-CLOSETS for your free design consultation or visit us online at californiaclosets.com.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere for the Sarasota Ford Promise. Our promise means a new car you'll love. If not, return it for one you do. At Sarasota Ford, we promise live market pricing. We monitor national pricing on our entire inventory, so you get the best deal. In fact, we guarantee it. Bring us any competitor's ad and we'll beat it by at least $1,000. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.